Well, actually, so welcome. So my name is Amy Aglio. I am the owner of Ladybug Mobile Services, and I also started this little small business and notary get together, kind of like a hub Facebook group, so that we can kind of learn from each other. And pretty much, it's based in Central Florida, but I also do these online sessions so that we can also kind of extend outside of that location. So I'm going to go ahead and can you see my screen first of all?
Yeah.
Great. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of little announcements. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to join the Facebook group. So like in January, and Stephanie went to that one. We did a vision board, and that's kind of like where I started getting the idea of what I wanted for myself this coming year and what I wanted to share and kind of do. And that's where I got the idea for doing these like online sessions for like free trainings and also having some get-togethers. And then the other picture down there is we met at a festival, and all those are local notaries in this area. So
Nice.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then the sign up form. So I'll send the link in a second in the chat box. But wanted to do that little bit of an announcement. Next month, same kind of principle, but I'm going to be focusing on rebranding. And it's kind of tied into the vision board focus that we had in January because and I think you all know this, right? Like we all do so many things. We're not just notary or loan signing agents or whatever. We all do these amazing things under our company and our company name. I definitely do that. And I know you both do that. So the idea is to kind of help yourself rebrand without it being too intense. And this is one of my personal close friends. Her name is Catalina, and she is a micro influencer, I guess you can call. She has like, I don't know, 15,000 YouTube subscribers, and she does all these videos. And she is now moving from like teaching Spanish into more of a travel kind of focus. So she's literally has learned how to rebrand herself. So I wanted for her to share that because I think it ties into what we do, right? Like we're constantly changing or adding services. So I wanted to add her to our little, repertoire, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fun. And she's very, very good. So now I really want for you all to introduce yourself. So I'll start with Melanie, who's at the top for me. So Melanie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Melanie Guy, and from My Go-To Notary, I am a notary in Central Florida, covering Osceola, Orange, Seminole, and Polk County. And if the pay is right, I'll even go to Tampa. But yeah, and I have been a notary for about 4 years now, and there's always something to learn. So I'm excited about joining because I met Amy a while ago in another course of something we were on, and I just thought she's an awesome person, so I'm excited to join.
Thank you, Melanie.
You're welcome.
Stephanie.
Stephanie Nicholson. So I was a former paralegal and then now I wrote back in because I can never leave. So
Oh,
I opened up my business a little over a year ago after I left a friend's estate planning firm. So I do a lot more on the estate planning side.
nice.
But I'm trying to get more into loan signing. So I am getting some buyers and sellers packages. So I'm in Seminole County in Oviedo, and then I usually travel to Orange and some of Volusia. I'll go to Lake and Osceola counties too, but that's primarily where I usually am is Orange and Seminole. And then, of course, I met Amy through the Central Florida Notary meetup last year. And then this year I decided I wanted to try to do more group events to meet more notaries because, of course, the best witness you can ever have, of course, is another notary because they're going to be reliant and available usually. And then just to try because I don't do apostilles. I've had a lot of requests for apostilles, so I like to go ahead and try to give out other work because, of course, all of us do different stuff. So, yep.
Yeah, the sharing. And by the way, Melanie is outstanding with her loan signing. So if you ever have it,
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
she's that's her niche. So if you ever,
Cool.
need support, I'm sure she'll help you. She's very
Thank you. Yeah, I love that's my baby. Like you just said, estate planning is yours, so I will be
Mhm.
reaching out to you.
Yeah.
I want to do more of those. So yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've always loved helping people, even, in the different types of laws. So this is perfect, trying to help somebody get their estate plan together so there's no fighting later on. Because
Yes.
unfortunately, I've been involved in that just personally with, family members, in-laws and everything. So I like helping people, and it's easy. It's easy like loan signing. So
I love it. So I'm in the right place. Perfect.
yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And that's actually so like and Stephanie knows because she heard me when I was talking about my vision for this year, is another part of my vision is I want to do like interviews for notaries. So I'm gonna ask you to, if you don't mind meeting with me, like, I don't know, for less
Yes.
than 10 minutes in Zoom and something, and I'll just like interview you 5 questions. I'll send them to you ahead of time so that you're not like I
Caught off
sometimes
guard.
Yeah.
I know the answer, but I'm like a deer in the headlight. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is so difficult for me to answer this question. So
Yep.
awesome, awesome. So I'll send you those questions and I'll get you in my schedule so that I can start that.
Awesome.
I kind of gave myself January off a little bit so that I could recharge. And it's funny because doors are opening, but on other services, not necessarily the notary stuff. So I've had 2 contracts for social media kind of open up recently. So that's taken my time. And I'm like, you know what? I need a mental break for my social media in order to focus on
Mhm.
other people's social media. So,
Nice.
yeah, you sometimes have to do that. You just have to give yourself a break. And I needed a break also to kind of like mentally think about what that's going to look like. What is the interview going to look like? Where is it going to be? Like, what are the questions that I'm really interested in finding out about people? So, yeah, I gave myself like January kind of just
Good for you.
yes, rewire. But I will be contacting you ladies. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right, awesome. So what I'm gonna do right now is I am actually bear with me as I show you my thousand things.
Oh
Um
wow, you were kidding. I think
Oh
you got
my
me beat.
goodness. I thought I was
okay,
bad.
I
Oh, she
have
got me beat.
I have other 2 other browsers open, but this is the one for today. So just bear with me one second. I'm gonna stop my share. Um, I'm gonna put in the chat box the links that I was telling you about earlier. So the first one is going to be the Facebook group. So I'm putting that in the chat box. And bear with me one second because, like I said, everything is, when you leave and then everything is just like, not where you like it. So my screens are all over the place. The second one is the sign up. So if any of you know, and it doesn't have to be just notaries, that's why I kind of wanted to do small businesses and notaries. Obviously, I know more notaries than I know small businesses, but I want it to be most of the conversations we talk about are not just notary specific. They're small business, specific. So those are the 2. And then I'm gonna send you both a kind of like a sign up sheet, and I'll give you a couple of options, and I'll show you the questions for those interviews. So now let me go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the presentation with my information, and then I'm going to come back, turn the recording off because I don't want it to when we're going into our Google business profiles, there's a lot of private things in there, and I don't want to either show yours or show mine. But I'm going to show it to you, just not recording it. But I am going to run through the presentation real quickly. And then I would love to actually go on to yours and, kind of show you how you can use AI for that. So I also want to do a quick poll because I always like to know um, where my people are, right? So I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll real quick. So please let me know if you're able to see it. There should be 2
Yes.
questions.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So good thing is, right? We've been in business for a little while. Really important to have that Google business profile. So we are all there. But maybe a little bit of AI, maybe not, right? So that's very good to know because then I can kind of, make sure that the presentation matches you too. All right, so I'm gonna get, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and put my presentation back on. So bear with me 1 second. Get all my things out of the way. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with my disclaimer because I am not, although I am Google trained. I don't know if you guys
Are you
heard about that,
sharing?
but really,
Are you sharing? Because I don't see you sharing.
oh, hold on. It is delayed. I see it, but
There we
can
go.
you see it?
There we go.
There
Okay.
we go.
Okay. Yeah, please let me know what you see and what you don't see because sometimes I'll show the wrong screen too. So,
You see two little ladybugs on a card.
Yeah.
that's what you see?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then you see what I told you? That's the wrong screen.
I figured we wanted to see the disclaimer.
Listen, I am infamous for this. Do you
There
see
we
the
go.
There we go.
Disclaimer.
Yes.
I don't know why it's so difficult. Well, I kind of do because I have two screens here and two screens here.
Oh
So
my goodness.
yeah. Again, my brain is just, I used to be so good at multitasking, and not that I'm horrible at it, but not as good as I used to be. All right. So my little disclaimer is, I'm not sure if you were aware, and I'm not sure if the program is still running, but Google did do like, kind of like a grant to small business owners that you could certify as a Google marketing something or other. And they had 4 different programs. I did the digital marketing one. So I am definitely Google certified, but I'm not a Google trainer, right? So whatever I am sharing with you all today is from my personal experience. And funnily enough, Melanie, when I had met you, I was about to call it quits because Google had shut down and suspended my account. So this is from like personal experience. I learned a lot of things. And then on my job as a teacher trainer, I've learned a lot of things on AI. So that's where my expertise is coming in. But this is all personal opinion, right? And I am not getting paid by anybody. And just in case, be careful because Google can be a little bit tricky, right? So before you start making tons of changes, kind of think it through. I would actually have it on a separate document, make sure that all the things align. And I know right now most of us are not certifying, but in the state where we have to redo our certifications, make sure everything matches. Like all of your websites match, your social media sites match, all of those things. So just again, that's from personal experience. I learned that one. All
Mm.
right. So yeah, it's very scary. And it's scary because you know that the majority of our customers are doing the Google near me, right? Like
Mhm.
the Notary near me. So that's where it kind of gets scary. You can obviously you're a legit business and you can get back on, but the process is painful. So the first thing we're going to focus on today is we're going to try to understand on a very superficial level how we can use AI. So I've done an AI training before, so this is kind of feeding from that. So I know that, from our poll, we're kind of half and half, right? So some of you have used it, some of you haven't. So I'll try to, if at any moment I'm going too fast on the AI side, just let me know. I'll kind of stop and then, give a little bit of background. Hopefully, I want to give you the time to actually do practical applications. So how are you're going to use those AI tools specifically for your Google Business Profile? Maybe at the end of the time, give you a little bit of time to both of you talk and then think how we can use these to develop some strategies to increase our chances of getting seen before anybody else. And then hopefully at the end, kind of share some success tips. So those are our objectives for today. So this is the background of AI. These are the things that you can use AI for in general for any business. They're really great for customer service enhancement. So you can either do some add-ons or plugins where you can actually have a chatbot, answering some practical, very simple questions. That is high level. I use it almost like my virtual assistant, right? So where things used to take me so long to think about how to say it, how to phrase it, I now know that prompting is the success, right? So like I will be very specific. I need for you to write. I always say please because we never know, right? In the future. Please write a 250 character social media post with emojis with a fun tone talking about Ladybug Day. Like, right, like you have to be very, very specific because the more specific you are, you're going to get what you're looking for back. So that's why I say virtual assistant. That's how I use it a lot. Content personalization, again, that's absolutely how I use it. Lead scoring, I haven't got into that quite yet because I'm just not at that level where most of my customers are truly the general public. But if I do go down this road of focusing more on small businesses, I can absolutely see that being a benefit because I'm going to be focused on a specific niche, right? Where the problem with our businesses, hence why I'm doing that March rebranding thing, is that everybody is our customer. Like literally everybody is our customer. So it's so difficult to like hone in on a specific thing. Process automation, oh my gosh, so many things that you can do. If you run email campaigns, especially with your two niches, with the loan signing, you know, signing agents are essentially your customers, title companies, you know, brokers, etc. For you, Melanie. And then for you, Stephanie, you know, estate planning lawyers, there's just, you have a specific like niche market that you can use to process those and automate those processes. Email marketing is an excellent example. You're able to like also use it for data analytics. So that is again on a higher level. But the great thing is that Google does make it very simple for us to be able to see what we're doing, what's working, and then use that information in, you know, some kind of generative AI situation. Other things like product development. So in our case, we most of our things are services, but we do know quite a few people or other notaries or small businesses that either do like, I don't know, t-shirts on the side or a notary log or things like that, right? Where you can kind of train that AI and say, this is what's currently trending, create a product for me that I could sell. So there's a lots of really, really cool things that you can do. But I would just say until you're comfortable with it, just do the basics. Virtual assistant is going to change your world. I promise you it will. Human resources, talent management, you've seen even in LinkedIn profiles where you can use AI to create the post, or you can use AI to create a job description, or, you know, those kinds of things. So risk management, you know, it assesses the risk that you have in your company, and this could be financial. It could be even something as simple as we're in people's homes, right? So those kinds of things of using AI to kind of verify a zip code or those kinds of things. You know, high crime rate. Really, really awesome things. Compliance monitoring for us. We need to know our statutes, right? So I'm telling you, I have used it to create trainings on how to read the statute because I mean, I'm not a legal mind, although probably for you, Stephanie, it's easier for you because you've been in kind of like that, you know, field in that industry. But for me, my brain isn't legally minded, right? So like I've used it to summarize statutes so that I can create either trainings or resources based off of that statute. So yeah, some really, really cool things that you can do with AI. So hopefully you can kind of see that there's a lot of things, and honestly, it depends on what you would like to use it for without it being an overwhelming kind of situation, because you always want to make sure that whatever you start, you can maintain, right? Any questions on AI, or do either one of you want to share how you have used AI?
I've used AI to help me better phrase emails,
Oh yeah.
help me update resumes, give me ideas on literally I even had one because I had what to say on a and I know this is gonna sound crazy, but sometimes I feel like when you have people pass away, you say the same thing over and over and over. And I just wanted a better, more personal, creative way of saying it. So I asked, help me write a better card, like a better, something better to say in a card. I just help it more than anything, helping me with emails and better phrasing professional emails. And I'll say the same thing with a friendly tone, because sometimes it's like so
Yeah.
like stern, you know? So, and I love it. I love it so
Oh
much.
my God, yes. The way that I see it is because I'm also in the education industry, right? So a lot of teachers are very afraid of it. The way that I see it for us, who were old, we're like the older generation, right? Like not my son's generation. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to use it. And it was funny because I'm sure it's going to be very short lived. But he's like, Mom, you do a lot of AI things. So can you show me how to use AI to make pictures or things like that? Right. So, like, I'm sure this is probably going to be the first and last time that I'm ahead of him on technology. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's going to be fleeting, right? Because I'm sure that he's going to learn much quicker than I can teach him. So, yeah, this is
Absolutely.
like our time. I don't know what's going to happen with them because we are subject matter experts, right? Like we know our business, we know loan signing, we know estate planning. So if we feed something into AI and it comes back with craziness, we're like, I know that's not what I was looking for. But how will
Mhm.
they
How
know?
will they know?
Yeah, yeah. So that's something that I'm like super interested in finding out in the future. But anyways, I digress. That's some examples, right, of how you can use AI. And really it is literally the limit of your creativity. But again, keep it simple at first. Oops, I went the wrong way. Sorry. Hold on. I'm not sure why it jumped all back there, but here we go. We're gonna see the presentation all over again. All right, so I'm going to specifically focus now on Google My Business, right? It's also Google Business Profile or Google Maps because now I'm not exactly sure the why, right? But they pretty much joined all of those. And it even took me like a little bit of time to figure out that they now want you to log into your workspace in order to access all of these things. Did you guys figure that out? Because it took me a little while to figure it out.
I
I used
think
to have everything bookmarked.
I have a link to it, so I don't know. I've always had the link to
Yep.
just click on the link and
Yeah.
everything opens. So,
Yeah, I did the same thing, but because I'm now doing social media for other people, I have to log out of things, right? So, yeah,
oh,
so now what I've discovered is they want you to log into your workspace, then your Google business profile,
hmm.
Maps or whatever is in there. But these are the things that are best practices for your Google My Business or Google Maps or Google Business Profile. The names are going to be kind of interchangeable during our session. You obviously want to claim and verify it, right? You want to complete every possible section that's in there. It's there for a reason. You want to choose the right business category. And this, again, is really difficult for us, I find, right? So I am under Notary Public. I think that is the best category for me because that is the general public. For the other things that I'm doing under the business, even though I do have wedding officiating under there, fingerprinting, those kinds of things, I'm still really only showing up under Notary Public, but then under services is where I'm popping up under those other things. So that's why it's important to make sure that you're constantly checking and updating your Google Business Profile. Hence, AI can absolutely help you with that. Keep your information updated. It is recommended, and this is really important that you put something up there once a week, right? So
Hmm.
that is really, really important. So whether it's a picture or an event that you're attending, an event that you're hosting, but once a week is really important to put something up on your Google Business Profile. That's where the posts and the updates are kind of like pretty much the same thing. Definitely always respond to your reviews. It didn't occur to me, even though I kind of like it makes total logical sense that you have to use keywords in your responses to your reviews, right? That didn't occur to me until like I was 50 reviews in. I'm like, dang it. Well, there goes. Opportunity to I missed my SEO opportunity there, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
add products and services. So again, if you happen to, for example, Stephanie, you probably are technically a document preparer, right? So you could put a product of estate planning, document preparation, $45, $100, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Could technically have a product, right? And I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you sell other things, right, other than just your services, but the more you fill in, the better it is for you. You're ranking yourself higher than other people too. The QA feature is really awesome, a great way to use AI. Tracking insights, I would use AI here to pull those keywords, also to pull to see when was it that I got the most interaction, right? The time of the day or the time of the month. Now that I've been in, technically, my business has been open for a couple of years, so you can kind of see a flow, right? So you can use AI for that. Definitely optimizing your keywords, super, super important. That's how you build your SEO. You can do bookings, but I don't do it because you have to use it specifically. I think it's called Book Me. And I don't use Book Me, I use Calendly. So I haven't used that option yet. But if you happen to have it, it's a great option for you. Any special features or attributes. So, and we're going to get into this in a second. And obviously, the stay active is really important, right? That's where that once a week is really, really important. So, oh, we have someone coming in.
I
So,
invited a few people. Yay!
oh, it's Crystal.
Yeah.
Hello. How are you doing?
But I don't know if she's on. Oh, she's coming on.
No worries, no worries.
Hello, I'm sorry I'm super late. I just saw the invite. Oh my gosh.
No worries, no worries. We're literally just now starting with the actual AI Google business, so it's perfect timing.
Yeah, it's actually perfect timing.
It
Okay,
is.
perfect.
So if you want, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business. I know many people know you, but let's go ahead and do it for the recording.
Okay, so let me be presentable for a second.
No worries. I'll continue talking and you let me know when you're ready. So oh, there we go.
There she goes.
Okay.
I can't even see, like, normally I see myself and I don't see myself, so hi. My name is Grisel Marte. I'm the owner of She Boss Mobile. I'm a mobile and remote online notary for the state of Florida. Yeah, I've been a loan signing agent. That's my specialty, loan signing, for almost 4 years now.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, lovely and to see you and welcome. We're now focusing on how we can use AI and how it can benefit our Google Business Profile. So what I explained earlier is I'm going to run through the presentation, but I want to give you three like some actual time to really, really work on it on your own and or in breakout rooms. It just depends on how much time we have. But I'm going to run through the recording because I don't want our private stuff to be in the recording, right? So I'm going to run through the recording. I'm going to use I literally did some screenshots of my own personal Google Business Profile, but I don't want to show all the things in the recording. Okay. So
Perfect.
I'm going to run through and then we're going to come back. But these are the areas that you can definitely use AI to help with your Google Business Profile. That is essentially that setup, right? So we are way past the business name and description because I've made a joke about Ladybug Mobile Services. I get all sorts of like, do you deliver? Are you pest control? Like, yeah. But it's funny because I didn't think about it, right? Like,
It's so cute.
oh yeah, for real. Like, listen, for real. So, and I make a joke about it because it's the truth. I always speak the truth, right? And I always will tell you the mistakes that I made and the mistakes that, or the things that I'm doing that they're working. And one of the things that I did, I consciously chose not to put mobile notary because I knew I was going to add other services, right? So like the officiating or the ink fingerprinting or translation. So I thought if I keep it general, I'm going to be able to add all of these services, but it didn't occur to me that I'm missing one of the major keywords in my name, right? So that is a funny thing. And I do you deliver, absolutely get pest control. I asked if I deliver cars one time. I don't know where they got that from, but
Deliver cars.
yes, yes, for sure. Your business description, amazing use for AI. We were talking a little bit earlier how you can, AI, if you will, if you want to use it as a verb, your services and your products so that you can stand out, right? So again, it goes back to that prompting. Please make sure to describe this in this way so that you can kind of glorify that thing that you're doing. I can tell you, I know what I'm doing, but it's so difficult for me to vocalize or like write it down, right? So it's fantastic for that. Reviews and responses. This is something that I'm starting to do now. I will literally tell my ChatGPT, please respond to this. I copy and paste the review and I'm like, add keywords. So fantastic. Like it's fantastic for that.
Yeah.
Questions and answers, fantastic for that. And I'm one of those people that if I do something in one area, I am going to use it in another. So for the QA section in Google, I did an FAQ for my website. So those same exact questions you can use there, but you can also use them on your website. When it comes to maintenance, we were talking about how important it is for you to put in something weekly. So those posts and updates are kind of, they go hand in hand. Photos and videos, this is something that if you're a person, and I don't think any of the three of you, because I've seen your social media, if you're a person that doesn't like to be taken a picture of and those kinds of things, then I would recommend using AI to create the photos and videos. The problem is now Google is getting very, very smart with all of their crawlers and their robots and whatever the heck they're using AI. Actually, they're using AI. When we use our phones, it creates a meta tag, right? So it tells you the location and tells you the time and all of those things. If you are creating an AI image or an AI video, it's missing that meta tag. So they really would prefer for you to use your phone than to use AI pictures. It doesn't mean that it's still not a good idea, right? Like if you're doing an event or if you are, I love Canva and I will use Canva. I don't care if it doesn't have a meta tag, but it saves me a lot of time, right? So, but just keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind. Maybe have a balance of you have some that you create in Canva or Dolly or Midjourney, but then you also still use your phone for a lot of that tagging and a lot of that posting. And then for monitoring those categories and attributes and then those insights, right? So like it's kind of like a progressive use of AI and like a more advanced use of AI as we get to those last categories. So this is where I'm going to do their quick run through, and then I'm going to stop the recording, and then hopefully, you all can kind of share your Google business profiles, and we'll kind of give you some tips. So, my God, why is it doing this? It's for Griselle to see the whole thing that she missed.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that. It keeps on
I'm
going.
actually going to take this time and log onto my laptop. That way I can share
Yeah.
the Google.
Sure.
So thank you.
Okay, so description, are the two that I highly recommend because they're free, right? It's either ChatGPT or Gemini, which used to be called Bard, and I'm not sure if you all, ever use Bard, but it is now called Gemini. So like, for example, this is in Canva. It has an AI tool that it literally feeds your Google Business Map profile right into your presentation. So this is technically clickable and it is actually my Google Business profile. And I'll show it to you guys in a minute, but I'm going to run through. So this is where you would describe your business, right? So this is where, remember I was saying the categories of my business. So these are the ones that I could add. There are other things that I'm doing like social media that I wasn't able to add, right? So the business description itself, it's something that I had created last year or technically 2 years ago. And then I literally fed my old description. I said, please, add keywords, please make sure to have it be a certain amount of words, right? Because it tells you exactly how many words you can put in so that you're not then having to go back and delete. So that's a little tip there is always look to see how many words it's asking for you, or sometimes it's characters, and then be very specific with
good idea.
Yeah, with your AI tool. So in the business description, we have the contact information, the location, the hours, etc. And we will run through with one of your business profiles when we stop the recording. Services and products. Again, what I find funny is that now that Google AI is actually telling you what services are okay. So I'm not sure if you've noticed, but now it will tell you we have changed your services based off of other people that are similar to you, etc. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. But for me, I don't have any products yet, right? Like I don't have anything that I can include in products. I have thought about doing, all these things, how our brains work, right? Like all these things that we want to do, but nothing happens. So I have no products to add, but if you do have a product, add it. So I know Griselle sells, and I can't remember exactly, but I know if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember what you saw, Griselle, but do you?
Oh, so I actually have an Etsy, which I have to, yeah, it's been a while, but I have an Etsy page where when I was doing like Zoom meetings and showing loan signing, I would record and pretty much just sell those what is it called? Those videos.
The recordings, yeah.
The recordings, yeah, and templates, things like that. But don't click on any of my links. They're so outdated, and I see
I'm not.
it's one of
Listen,
those
that's why
things.
we're here. That's why we're here. We're here to kind of help.
It's definitely one of those things, like you said, that you keep saying you're gonna do, or you plan on doing. I was planning on re-ramping many times, and yeah. Anyways,
Grizel does everything but sleep.
But that's the reason it's so good to be able to have you have the idea, right? You have the base. Now using AI to help you, it will be so much easier. It's so much easier. I can't begin to tell you how much easier it's going to be. You'll see. The question and answer section, do any of the three of you have your QA in your Google Business Profile?
I think I started it. I think I had like one or two questions, and then I don't know if I finished it or not. That's why
Listen,
I'm here today.
yeah, this is amazing. The moment that I did it, I am not joking. I got a wedding from Polk County, which I'm like, I don't even know how I got fed all the way over there. Um, yeah,
Wow.
I had an ink fingerprint, which I never, my ink fingerprint customers usually come from a company that I do collaboration with. They do the live scan, and then I will do the ink fingerprints when they cannot do the live scan. So I've never had an ink fingerprint person call me from Google. So I'm telling you, it absolutely works. And the way that you're going to think about it is, what are the questions that you always get asked about witnesses, your fees, how much can anything you can think of, especially if you're specific to loan signing, to estate planning, whatever it is that you are constantly being asked, you go in and ask the same question, right? So it doesn't have to be a random, person from the public creating the question. You create the question, you put in the answer. And I'm telling you, those adding those keywords in there, it absolutely works, because I can tell you the moment I did it, I definitely branched out to my normal area. So it really, really does work. And it is kind of cool to do. Again, you have the question, you know what you get asked, you say AI, if this is a question for this business. And I also gave him my website, right? So I said, use this website, which is mine, obviously, to pull information from. This is the question. How would you answer it? And then again, going back to that, we are the subject matter experts, right? So if AI says something that's absolutely crazy, we're gonna be, no, rephrase this question. Do not answer it this way and answer it, right? So it's funny because it's actually, do you know what it's called when an AI tool goes crazy and answers something that is incorrect? It's
overthinking.
it, right? Well, that's what we do. It's called hallucination.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah. So you train your AI tool, you tell it specifically, do not hallucinate. If you do not know the answer,
Oh
do
my gosh.
not. Yeah. So it is really, really cool the way that you can kind of use these tools, and you are literally training it. And I made a joke earlier, Griselle. I always say, please create this post that says X, Y, Z, because again, you never know, right? You never know what's being stored in there somewhere. So posts and updates, this is what you want to do on a weekly basis. Really, really important. If you're busy, you can use scheduling tools in order to do this. You can use the same post that you would have put on Facebook, that you would have put on Instagram, right into your Google Business Profile. I do it routinely. And again, it really is great, because when if you were to search yourself, you would see the post right underneath your description. So it is really nice, especially, again, these are all Canva tools, Canva posts that I have created with my Canva tool. And even though it doesn't have a meta tag, it doesn't matter, because that matters to Google, but your customers who are seeing you, oh, she's active. And that's a really pretty picture, Go
So
ahead.
I have a question. So so it says it matters to Google. In what way? Do they only do they limit you, or do they
They don't limit you. They just would prefer for authenticity,
authenticity? Okay.
yeah, for that picture to have that meta tag, right?
Got it.
Because I could be, I don't know, in China and saying that I'm living in,
True. Yeah.
Claremont. You know what I mean? So that's the reason. It's to give it that authenticity. But no, it doesn't matter because again, you're still posting it, and what you're doing there is providing that like presence for your customers also. So this is that area where you can do an update, you can add an offer, or you can create an event, right? So like that event that I had showed earlier about the vision board, I actually created an event in my Google Business profile. Go ahead, Grisel.
I see that you have an address on here.
I do.
So do you have an office?
No. So earlier I had explained, I did a little disclaimer, right? Because I am Google marketing, digital marketing certified, but I'm not a Google person, right? Like I'm not getting paid. I'm doing this for free and I'm using my personal experience.
Gotcha.
So when I had opened my business officially, to the public, so to speak. It was about 6 months, and that's very close to the time I had met Melanie. And for some reason, and I honestly think it was another notary, they completely suspended my account. I mean, like suspended, like it wasn't like a cold suspension. Like I was suspended, you couldn't see my business profile at all. It was gone.
Oh,
Yeah. So it was horrible, but because I'm a legit business, right? I was able to get back in and I had to show them like my Sunbiz, information, my tax information.
oh,
At the time, I had a UPS address. So it was a box, but I had the UPS address. And the only two things that I could find in my profile that are not suspense worthy, but that were wrong, was the fact that technically, even though I'm a mobile notary, I was using the PO box. So and I did hefty research about the things that you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. And that was one of them. You're not allowed to use a virtual, area, or a virtual office, essentially, or
mm.
whatever. And then the other thing was, it had something to do. I'm sorry, there's an Amber Alert. It
Mm-hmm.
had something to do, and I can't even remember because it was like a year and a half ago. It had something to do with I think it was the services, like they were all in just, a bunch of keywords under, and then what I ended up doing was like I separated them and then I put other words underneath the services. Those were the only two things that I could see that I had done wrong. And it made no sense. And I spoke to an SEO guy who happened to be a customer of mine. And he's like, he really feels, and I can't prove this, that it was another notary because I did well, thank God, quite quickly. I got from like when I first opened up the business from, I don't know, page 6 to that first page almost immediately. So,
Oh,
because
wow.
I do all the things, right? So he feels that it's that. And honestly, the longer that I'm doing this, the more it makes sense because there's no reason for me to have been suspended, like none, no reason. So, yeah, beware. There are nasty people out there.
That's terrible.
Um, yeah, it was, but I learned, right? Like I did learn from it, and I feel like I'm stronger for it, so to speak, and I'm sharing the knowledge. I'm sharing the knowledge. So yeah, this is under maintenance. Again, you want to do something at least once a week, at least once a week.
Okay.
Honestly, like if you don't have the time, the energy, the money to spend on social media, spend it on your Google business profile. Like, don't create all these pretty things that like 3 people see, like they do for me, like my mom and my sister-in-law, maybe, If you don't have the time, spend it on your Google business profile,
It's
honestly.
it's so insane because well, I'm taking a break from social media right now, but if you look at my Instagram, I love Instagram. I start with blogging and just I'm an Instagram type of notary. But then my Google business page, I don't pay attention to it and it's insane. And I don't know if it's
Guilty.
because I got comfortable with the business I have flowing in already.
Yeah.
That general notary, I kind of stay away from. But then when things are slow, I'm just like, where's the general notary work? Call me, people. What's going on?
And
Yep.
that's the thing, right? Like we all have our specialties and we all know what works with what marketing technique or marketing tool works in that area. And you and Melanie, like I see Melanie on LinkedIn all the time. I see you on Grisel, I see you on Instagram all the time. So that means that is working, right? Like whatever it is that you're doing for those two, they absolutely work. So don't stop doing what works. But if you do feel like that Google business profile, which definitely you're correct, those are the general notary works. That's really the only time I get loan signing. I don't really have, I mean, I'm not very successful on the signing agents. I think they're so low. And I haven't been able to get those relationships with the title companies or, that hasn't been my success. But I think we all have a place, right? Like, yeah, like I don't, the way that I see it, and this is like, I guess, religious. If it's not meant for me, God will not open that door,
True. Yep.
I'm okay with it. Like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, if your Instagram is working in your case or your LinkedIn is working, and Stephanie, I'm not sure because I know you use a lot of Facebook. Like if those things are working and they're providing you business, oh my gosh, don't stop. But if you want to truly focus on, in this case, it would be general notary work 100%. That is where you're going to get that person that says notary, right? Like you're definitely going to get that business from that. So keeping that profile up, and whatever you create for Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, you just pop it into your Google business profile, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Mhm. Did you want to say anything, Stephanie?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I haven't gotten too much from the Facebook and Instagram, but over the past general work, I've gotten from Google where people are like, "Oh, I read your reviews and blah blah blah," and so that's what I want to do too. I want to focus more on that. There was someone in my BNI chapter that was really pushing me to like, he's like, "Oh, I can help you with your reviews," and I'm like, yeah, that's not worth like 150 a month to me where I can like make sure that I send them the link and do it. So
Oh,
I want to do more on the Google, definitely.
listen, don't pay anybody to help you with reviews. That is no, that is not where you want to spend your money.
No. I was like, it's the end of the year. I was like, I've got my insurance renewals, I've got taxes. No. And I was like, no, this is ridiculous.
And also you have to be careful, right? Because if they're doing something to increase the business, and it seems a little bit suspicious, and this is funnily enough, the guy that I was telling you about that he feels, he's an SEO guy, and he feels that someone reported my profile. He did a legitimate review for me, legitimate review. I did a translation for him, for his brother. I forgot what it was for. I think it was for like an FBI background check or something. And I legitimately did a translation for him. His review has never showed up on my side. So
Wow.
because, yep. And he showed me the picture and everything because I always respond to my reviews, right? Like I always respond to my reviews. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, so and so, I cannot find your review. Like it's not on here. It's not that the number had not even changed. He showed me the picture and he's like, yeah, sorry. I think it's because, my like his actual business. That's what he does. He focuses on SEO. So
Oh,
Google knows. Google knows, even though I am a
Yeah.
legitimate customer.
wow.
Yeah. So this is what I was saying earlier, ladies, about the Midjourney is amazing at creating some wow, like amazing AI images. Dolly belongs to ChatGPT now.
I'm sorry. What did you say? Mid-journey?
Yeah, it's right here. And I'll send this presentation to you all too. Midjourney and Dolly, they're the most used tools to create AI images. And they're amazing. At first, when I was first using them, crazy. Like I don't know, probably no, the three of you haven't seen the AI training I did. I literally did. I'm like, create an image of a ladybug wedding. And I should show you that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when I show you, wait till you see what happened. It was some Trump looking person, like had nothing to do with not, nothing to do with a ladybug or wedding. So it was hilarious. But literally every single day, the technology gets better. Like as we're talking, the technology is getting better. But those two are the most, Dolly used to be separate and now it belongs to ChatGPT. So those are the two most used. You will not be able to use ChatGPT if you have the free version to use Dolly. You have to have the paid version. So just,
Okay.
but honestly, Canva does the same thing for free. So again, the images can be a little crazy, but who cares? It's free, right? Like who cares? So yeah, just keep that in mind. I did a video again as a demonstration using Dolly where like I literally, it was a picture of me and I gave it the script to say, like, if it was me, and it did sound very robotic. But still, like,
I've
if you,
seen those.
yeah, they're kind of crazy, right? But the technology is getting better and better. Like, honestly, it's getting better and better. So if you're a person, I don't think the three of you are, but if you're a person who doesn't want to be on video, but wants to do like maybe a little video for opening up your website or making a joke, like, yes, this is not me. This is a, motorized version of me, but it's not a bad idea to play with. It was kind of fun to tell, literally, I just provided it a picture. But the way that I see it is if you're already doing the video, like, why just do it, right? Like, don't
Yeah.
spend time
Yeah.
learning the AI part. All right, so this part, reviews and responses, very, very important, like extremely, extremely important. And back when I started the Google certificate, which took me a long time because it's a very hefty course. At that time, it was 120 5-star reviews with text. So if someone gives you a 5-star review and they don't put anything in there, Google does not count that. They will count it on this number here,
Oh.
right? The number that you see, but they don't they don't consider it a legitimate review.
Wow.
So when you're training your customers, hey, please do a review. And if you can add any like words about what we did today, whether it was estate planning or notary or I-9 verification, try to use that so that I can help you or I can help customers like you. But kind of train them in order to do what it is that you want them to do that's going to benefit you. So, and I do that. I really, really do. And it really does help. You can see I have 109, but the reality is I have had a lot more customers than 109 customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a luck of the draw. If you get anything more than 10% of the people that do reviews for you, you're doing really well. So, and 10%, be happy. Be happy that someone loved you enough to do the review for you, right? And do not give your link, and I'm joking, when you think it's going to be a bad review. Like, don't give it. Just don't give it.
No.
Keep it private. Keep it private. So here are some ways, and again, once we go into your profile, you'll be able to show me, and I'll be able to guide you also. But something that has changed, and I'm sure if you guys go into your Google Business Profile, this used to be green for me. It is now brown because now Google is trying to make you, what I was saying earlier, Melanie, use your workspace. So they're trying to get you to buy the workspace email. So technically, I have completed my profile, but it shows here that I haven't because I'm not using their workspace email. I haven't used my credit yet. I haven't felt like I want to use that $500 credit that they give you. And there's one more thing that I haven't done. But if you see a brown, don't panic. It's just now they're really, really pushing for us to use our the workspace, which you have to pay for. And again, it's not a big deal. I think it's like $6 or $10 a month. But it's not something that I feel like I want to add yet another email. Like my poor customers, I have like 3 different emails for me. So, keep it simple. Any questions so far about the reviews and the responses? A really great way to use AI here is, I was saying earlier, copy the actual text of what your customer that you've trained, right? To say, copy it, dump it into AI. Please create a response to this using the keywords that I've trained before. Because what you try to do is keep the chat. Like, I have one chat that's for reviews, one chat that's for blogs, one chat that's for social media posts, right? So that I'm not having to retrain it every single time. So that's also a little tip there. Keep the same chat going. Oh, my battery's about to, give me 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry. Talks amongst yourselves. I will be right back.
Okay. I'm glad you made it, Gazelle.
Same here. Honestly, I got home from church and I just remember just saying, I'm going to close my eyes for an hour, and I woke up 4 hours later.
Yeah, you
My,
need it. You
my
need it.
son was like, "Are you going to cook today?" And I was just like, oh my gosh, I ran to the supermarket to grab stuff. And then I saw your email and I was like, okay, we got this. Put this in the air
Yeah.
fryer. I'm going to cook it a bit.
Oh
And we
my
get on
goodness. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to take advantage of this because I found her in Facebook group,
Mm-hmm.
Central Florida, whatever, and I was never a part of that. And I'm in Central Florida, so I was like, let me join this. So I joined it, and then seeing that she's offering all these different, I mean, there's like a bunch of stuff coming. And I was like, oh yeah,
This is
I
awesome.
love to learn. So I love to learn new things and get tips. And then we met Stephanie today.
No,
Stephanie.
this is needed because I've been slacking and I want to move more towards the remote field. And I think I told you this. I want to get away, slightly get away from loan signing and focus on more general estate planning, things like that. So I have to build my Google business page in order to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, if you're trying to build a certain part of your business, make sure you're using those keywords in many, many places, in your description, and your reviews, and your services, the description of your services. So yeah, use those keywords over and over again. All right, so thank you for being patient. I was explaining to Melanie and Stephanie, I came, my husband and I had our anniversary, and we celebrated this weekend, and like I had to reset everything. Obviously, my computer didn't have the battery and all those things, but there you go. All right, so the other one, this category and attributes this is like the meat. This is really where you can make some really impactful changes. But I would start out with the basics, right? So make sure your descriptions are right, make sure that your services are right, and then you can kind of go into the meat and potatoes, right? Because this is where you're going to be using your website. So make sure your website's also up and running the way that you want it to. These are all free up to a point. So you can use Google Keyword Planner, and it will tell you based off of the notary business, these are the words that are mostly used, right? Ahrefs and SEMrush, they're really great tools to find out if your website is doing what you want it to.
What is that? A-T or A-H?
Ahrefs. So this is like old coding for HTML coding in the background. That's where it comes from.
Oh.
And then SEMrush is another one. Fantastic. If you put your website in there, it will tell you it's taking too long to load, or it will give you, you have so many backlinks completely for free. But then they try to upsell you by letting you know you can only see this part of this report because you're getting the free version. But still, it's a great place to start, right?
So I'm sorry. So I just want to, you said to take your website and put it into these.
Yeah.
And they give you like a rating on your Google, on your page, on your website. Oh,
yes. Yeah. So this is where, like, probably I will maybe do another training on this in May. Like once because I like to give you guys time to, do the things that we talked about, and then maybe like a part 2, we can focus on this because this is a training in itself, right? And then I would love to see the things that you guys are doing and see if it kind of brought you any business or what worked and what didn't work. But this is a training into itself because this is really where you're checking your competitors, you're checking the things that are trending right now, you're checking keywords, you're analyzing them, right? Did it work? Did it not work? So this in itself is a training amongst itself, but I wanted to share it because it is important and also an easy thing for you to do right now, right? Like if you pop your web URL into Ahrefs or SEMrush, you'll see what I'm talking about. This little report will come up. And again, we'll do this off camera in a minute, but I just wanted to show you and kind of run through the presentation. And then your insights and your analytics, right? So it tells you how many people have viewed your profile. It tells you those keywords. So you can see notary near me is where all of us pop up, right? Like remember we talked about the service that I'm currently under Notary Public. Of course, that's where most of my my business is going to come up, right? So that notary near me for all of us is always going to be the primary. But for a while, because my website, I was offering free certificates for notaries. So because the keyword on there said free notary resources, I was coming up under free notary. So I was.
Oh no.
Yeah. I was getting a lot of those calls and I'm like, what is going on? Of course I'm not free. And then it clicked when I did this research, I was coming up under free notary because it said free notary resources on my website. Because what I did is I did, the certificates, like our certificates, like our jurats and acknowledgements, and I had it on the website under free notary resources.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but it's really cool because then you can find out those things that are like, why is this happening? And that's why I mean, like, you need to know what you have in order to even like focus on these last two, because then it's just too much information. I don't want to like overwhelm anybody. But yeah, that's an example of like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. That
It's
totally
so
makes
funny that you say that. I used to work for Nemours Children's Hospital, and a lot of people used to call the hospital asking if we were a free hospital because they offered like assistance. So it would say like free something, and that the same exact thing. Like, what
Yep.
hospital is free? Like, no.
Yes, yeah, it's funny the way that you will show up under certain things. And again, it could be an advantage, but you know, really the reality is that if this is the hands-on time that I'm going to stop the recording. Um, the reality is like if your customer is calling you thinking they're getting a free service, it's not going to be a happy customer, right? So, like, what kind of calls do you want to field, really? All right, so I'm going to pause the recording. All right, so just to do a little bit of recap, we went into Canva and explored some of those AI tools. We went into ChatGPT and used some of the descriptions for our different 3 websites and Google Business Profiles and all the things that we can do. Do you ladies want to kind of summarize what you've learned?
I've oh.
I've definitely learned that AI is going to be very, very valuable in updating the Google business page that I have. The fact that I think one of the things that I love the most was that it's going to help me answer with keywords to the reviews, which I always was struggling with that a little bit, wanting to say the perfect thing. So that's going to be wonderful. And we learned a lot. We learned a lot. We've been saying wow like 100 times. So it was good information. I really appreciate it so much.
Awesome.
I was going to say I learned not to be afraid to use AI and try different tools and resources and explore. There's so many tools out there that I didn't realize it existed. So lots of playing around. You don't have to always pay a master marketer for your business. You can literally create it your own, like do your own thing now, especially with AI. So this is awesome. I can't wait to just sit back and have fun and explore.
Yes. How about you, Stephanie?
Same thing. Like, I'm really excited to use the AI for my Google responses because I'm the same. I always struggle about, oh, I'm, so glad I could help you today, and like, what else to put in there. So, and I'm excited to also use the other Canva features that I didn't know about to help with that marketing too. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know we only explored ChatGPT and Canva, but don't forget that, we had all those other tools, the Ahrefs, the SEMrush, Dali, Midjourney. There's a bunch of things that we can do, but this was kind of like, let's keep it basic so that we don't get overwhelmed, right? And then build from there. So I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes.
I'm really happy. So the other thing that I wanted to make sure that I reminded everybody is next month. So we did do all these things, right? Like we understand how AI works. We did a little bit of practical application with your own personal site or profile. And hopefully now we can develop those strategies, right? So that we can be really nice and successful. And then I'm going to try to do a part B, give you guys a couple of months to kind of focus on, oh, that's so cute. Give you guys some time to focus on some of those strategies that we talked about today. And then we're going to focus on that second level, right? So now going in and looking at your analytics and kind of coming up for some strategies on how you can use AI for that too. So don't forget, this is absolutely me, but I wanted to show you my friend who is a micro influencer, but I was explaining earlier, she is actually changing from, she has like about 15,000 followers on YouTube. And she's pretty amazing. So she's changing from like a teacher kind of content into travel blogging. So I thought, oh my God, like what better person to show us how to rebrand our businesses, right? Because all 3 of us already, well, technically all 4 of us have already said, oh, wait a minute. I know that I focused on this in the past, but I really kind of want to focus on this right now. So she can kind of give us some tips on how to do that. And every time I always learn something from her when I speak with her. So she is going to be our March one. So hopefully I'll see you ladies on that one. It is a Saturday at 11:30. And don't forget, please, I did put it in the chat box, but don't forget if you haven't already joined that Facebook group, I do put in, reminders of the things that we're doing and little tips here and there if I see any. So let me re-put those links in the chat box. So the first one is the Facebook group. Oh, that's not, sorry, She-Boss. My, I copied and pasted for some reason. It stayed on your, yeah, it won't let me. Oh, that's funny. All right, hold on. I'm going to unshare because it won't let me paste but your content, which is good, right? That's good marketing. All right, so this is the Notary Get Together. So this is the form to sign up for any of the upcoming free sessions or get togethers. I know we're not all local, but it'd be kind of cool to see if we can see each other. The second one is the Facebook group where I'll put in, some kind of tips and reminders, etc. And I also, Griselle, I'm going to try to do interviews. That's my focus for this year. So if you don't mind, would you like to be interviewed?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right. So what I'll do is I'll create another form. I love my forms. I'll create yet another form that is going to show you the questions that I'm going to ask you so that you're not like, I was saying, I'm like a deer in the headlights. When someone asks me a question that I wasn't prepared for, I'm like, I know this answer, but why can it not come out right? So I'll send you guys those a couple of times that we can maybe meet online. Just like in this Zoom, I'll record it and then you guys can use it for your social media too. And then I will be putting it in YouTube and then my website and also for social media so that we can kind of help each other out. All right. So there's my contact information. I will follow up with a email after I get the recording and everything, and I'll share that. And thank you so much. It was
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to just do this just because. I mean, you're not even charging for all of this information, and that is just
thank you.
Blessings are coming, I promise you.
Thank you. I did it because I just really want to share what I've learned, and I'm not trying to get anything out of it. So yeah, I just want to share.
This is great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the invite.
Yep, thank you.
Bye, ladies.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, Amy.